This intro is going to be super confusing for the podcast version format of this live stream. For those of you who cannot see, members who are receiving the January 6th awards are shaking hands with Chuck Schumer and then seemingly walking past Mitch McConnell and that guy behind him. And Nancy Pelosi, this was not all orchestrated. I need to watch this one more time because part of me says it could just be a misunderstanding. Mitch McConnell's got two things in his hand. Schumer's got two hands open. He points to, no, he nods his head. It looks like he might nod his head and say, I'm not shaking Mitch McConnell's hand. She kisses Schumer. I don't know who the people are by name. Nancy Pelosi's in the side, and she's like, oh, well, there you go. Yeah. I will still give the benefit of the doubt, even if it's not deserved, that nobody would be that petty. Oh, crap. I forgot to explain what the... it was some January 6th. They're giving out some medals to the police. Hold on 1 second. I'm not going to find it. I refuse to believe that people would be so petty at a moment like that to not shake the hands of their ideological or political adversaries. I also refuse to believe that they could be so stupid to actually, at this point in time, blame whatever they think is to be laid by way of blame on the Republicans, exclusively, particularly, or specifically, and not on capital authorities, not on politicians at large. I refuse to believe it. Now, this wasn't the opening video I wanted originally, but I couldn't start off with the Project Veritas video because I have to give some commentary on that video while it rolls. I refuse to believe that people are that petty, that political, that it might have been actually set up so that they could then use that video clip for political purposes. But alas, it wouldn't be the most corrupt thing, the most insincere, politically motivated, disingenuous act of the day even. They are that petty, says Kizzy. It's, yeah. Eyebrow raised in amazement of incredulity, Marcus Hadrian. Good afternoon, people. It's going to be a good one today. It's like we were live yesterday. It was a good one yesterday. And I'm thinking they're sick. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Son of a beast thing. I don't have my phone. Oh, cripe. I don't know where my phone is. Well, that's just great. I was going to show you my phone, but I might need to have my phone just in case someone calls. I was thinking, like, what are we going to have to talk about between last night and today? And then, hey, the internet is amazing. People forward me information, forward me stories. The world is amazing because between last night and today, let's see. Chloe Cole, the detransitioning teenager who was on the channel to describe her ordeal with the transition process that was recommended to her by medical professionals. She's filed a notice of intent to sue by Harmeet Dillon and another lawyer. We're gonna walk through it. Between last night and today, at least it was reported in Canadian media, a British Columbia court tossed a bunch of COVID fines that were issued against a nightclub that remained opened, allegedly in defiance of COVID protocol, public health measures. There's some politics to that story, I think. What else happened? More out of Canada. A judge recently declared that they're not unfreezing the frozen funds from the Freedom Convoy, even though the defendants are arguing that they need the funds to be unfrozen so they can pay their attorneys so they can mount a defense. Politics ruins everything. Boom, shakalaka. And the big story of the day, there's been a prisoner swap. If you had Joe Biden on your fantasy football team, if you had him on your dodgeball team, if you were playing Monopoly with Joe Biden, well, you'd want to continue playing Monopoly against Joe Biden. You would trade like Baltic Avenue for Mediterranean Avenue, and he'd think he just got a good deal. But if he's on your team negotiating for you, you might want to ask for a transfer to another fantasy football team. There's a coof warning on this. Yeah, there's a coof warning because there is. Let me see here. Check this out. This is the absolute state of this is the absolute state of YouTube. Let's see if I go present, share screen. Yeah, there you go. That's me in the past. There you go. Get the latest information from the CDC on about COVID-19. Well, that is meta. Okay, let's bring that out. There's a COVID warning on this video because I mentioned the word COVID, and the arbiters of truth want to make sure that everyone goes and gets their information from the same sources of information. Get out of here. I don't want to see that now. Yeah, the big story of the day is Brittany Griner, the WNBA basketball player, who was arrested and convicted for allegedly, and not allegedly, because I guess she actually pleaded guilty, so it's not allegedly, she did smuggle in THC marijuana in vapes into Russia, was arrested, pleaded guilty, sentenced to 9 years in jail. The Biden administration has been working tirelessly to free this political prisoner who broke the law in a foreign country that everyone regards as being the most evil of authoritarian regimes, yet we go there to play basketball for some reason, yet we give our talent and our money to this country that we think is run by a Hitler-like dictator. And she was arrested, pleaded guilty, sentenced to 9 years in jail. The Biden administration has negotiated her release. The release, a petty criminal is not a mean way of describing her. I think the crime was there, but the sentence was excessive. Negotiated the release of a petty criminal, and all it took, an exchange of perhaps the most notorious arms dealer in the history of the world. One of they might be like top 10, tied for the top 5 with, I don't know, United States of America, biggest dealer of arms in the world. But this guy was a criminal arms dealer, not a lawful arms dealer. It's legal when the state does it. They negotiated her release, 1-for-1 prisoner swap. Brittany Griner, WNBA superstar, sentenced to 9 years for, in fact, bringing illegal drugs into Russia. They swapped her for, forget the guy's name, but Lord of War was based on him. Lots to talk about there. So that's it. Let me make sure that we're live on the Rumbles, which we look to be. Yes. Very nice. Yeah, that's it. We're going to go over these stories. But first things first, people, everybody. You may have noticed I'm at a stage of the YouTube world where I have sponsors. But not just sponsors for the sake of sponsors that I actually use. Because as many of you know or don't know, I am not an immigrant to the United States. I'm on a temporary visa. But I live in Florida now, at least for a few years. Coming down here, one day I'm going to do it's just going to be a 5-hour live stream talking about from day one to day present, what was involved in this move, because it's like, in retrospect, it's almost unbelievable. The amount of time it took, the amount of effort, the amount of financial getting screwed because I didn't know what I was doing. It'll be a learning experience for everybody. But we're down in Florida. And the one thing I learned down here is there's a specific type of fraud, or at least a very prevalent type of fraud in the United States, home title fraud. And it's not what people think. I keep thinking of the episode of The Simpsons where someone shows up and says they own your house. It's not that type of fraud. It's a type of fraud where they borrow money against your house by forging your signature on the deed that they pull from the local registry. They call it the clerk's office. Forge your signature, go to a bank and say, hey, I'd like to borrow money against this property. Here's my property. I can forge your signature because I can pull it up and see what it looks like. And they borrow money against your house. The fraudsters abscond with the money, and you are stuck holding a bag of debt, a lien against your house. What does Home Title Lock do? And I use it, and I consulted with our home insurance to make sure that it's legit. It's legit fraud. It's legit protection. 24/7 surveillance of the registry. Someone pulls your deed to try to forge your signature, or for whatever reason, you get notified and there's a freeze so that fraudsters cannot borrow against your house, leaving you with debt on your house that you never incurred. And if you can't pay it, tough noogies, bank sells your house, go deal with it elsewhere. Home Title Lock is the protection against that. I use it. It works. If you go to hometitlelock.com/Viva, you'll see my beautiful election 2021 face. I haven't cut my hair since then. This was September 2021. So that'll give you an idea as to how much my hair grew in the last year. /Viva. You get a free title assessment, which is worth $100, and it's $19.95 a month. If someone tries to pull your deed, you get notified there's a freeze, and they cannot borrow against your property. They also guarantee defense up to $250,000, I believe. America, for good and for bad, is still the Wild West in a great many respects, for good and for bad. The fraud stuff is not for the good, so for the bad, but it's good. I use it. HomeTitleLock.com/Viva. Thank you very much. Home Title for actually also sponsoring the channel of the hinged, fringed minority with unacceptable views. Now to transition into something a little. I wanted to open the stream with this video. James O'Keefe is back on Twitter and back able to spread the word and spread the information. James O'Keefe doing what journalists used to do once upon a time called undercover journalism, which a great many people actually sort of now want to actually criminalize. You're not a journalist if you surreptitiously record conversations with people who might not be honest and forthright if they know they're being recorded. You can't go undercover anymore and lie about your identity in order to gain access to certain areas, certain institutions, certain organizations, so you can rat them out like journalists once upon a time did. No, you need to ask for permission. You need to let everybody know that you're there as an investigative journalist, and just hope that they tell you the truth. James O'Keefe wrote a great book, American Muckraker, and it goes through the ethics of being a journalist. And everybody should read it if you read with your eyes, or listen to it if you read with your ears, as I do. It's a great book, and it goes through the ethics of what it means to be a journalist. And look, it's not something that everybody can do because, as per the positing of one of the sections of the book, sometimes being a journalist means lying. It means you have to lie in order to get the truth, because if you tell the truth, you're going to get a lie. So James O'Keefe is back on Twitter. Elon Musk, love him or hate him, and some people hate him a lot these days, brought him back. So we're going to start with one tweet from yesterday and another tweet from today, which is just the video and the tweet are just amazing. But before we do that, I almost forgot to say, simultaneously streaming on Rumble. We're going to go there in 17 minutes, give or take. If you want to support the channel, other than merch at vivafrei.com, and I'll show you some stuff later, Rumble rants and super chats. YouTube takes 30% of all of these wonderful things called super chats. If you want to support the channel, we are simultaneously streaming on Rumble. The link is in the pinned comment in the chat. I'll post it over here one more time. Rumble Rant has the super chat equivalent. They're called Rumble Rants. Rumble takes 20%. So better for the creator, better to support a platform that actually supports free speech. And we're going to be going there in a few minutes. So no medical advice, no legal advice, no election fortification advice. And we're going to get some amazing stuff today. But hold on actually, before we get started. Hold on. I noticed in the chat before the stream got started, someone was asking, where's Pudge? She doesn't get screen time anymore. Pudge is here. She's alive and well, even if she wakes me up. You woke me up at 3:30 in the morning to feed. I fed the dog at 3:30 in the morning. And then she's hungry again by 9. What's your deal? Pudge is good. Look at her. She's also looking, hold on, I'll show you. She's looking pretty good. Like not too fat. Getting some movement back in her legs. You see that? It's kind of amazing. It's more like reflexive and not actual meaningful movement, but all right. Oh my God. She just pooped on me. Oh my goodness. It's okay. It's okay. Give me 2 seconds, people. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. Ugh. I was going to say that's the reason why she doesn't get. I took her outside and squoze her, and I got pee out and thought I was safe. But okay, that cleaned up quickly. Anyway, so Pudge is good. Oh my good God. Okay, let's read a few super chats and get going. Haha. Have you heard the word coof sort of in the title of this stream? And I am presented with a giant splash below the video touting CDC coof info. Indeed. Oh my goodness. The religion of rationality. Careful, David. Your government is liable to soon offer you assisted. You know what? Oh, we talked about that yesterday. It's over the top, and I don't know when people are going to get outraged. I think some people feel like there's just nothing that can be done anymore. It's a downward spiral, and people have just passively decided to resign themselves to their fate. I think it would be worth it if she comes back and dedicates her life to getting nonviolent drug offenders out of prison in America. We're going to get there, Free Matter for the Blind. Because I don't think it's I think her punishment was. We'll get there. We'll get there. Oh my gosh. I did wash my hands, by the way. So how long into the stream do you think Robert is going to remind you of this? Into the next stream? There's a video on the internet, like back in the day when I first started bathing her and giving her like bathtub therapy. She accidentally pooped, but oh my goodness. She's alive. She's well. She's happy. Okay. All right. Let's get. I'm taking a shower after this stream is over, people. Like it's nobody's business. Where is the Project Veritas? See, it's hashtag buttplugdean. Here we go. And by the way, it's not just that James O'Keefe is doing actual real investigative journalism. He's got such delivery, and he has a sense of humor, and it's it's like the best of the British dry sense of humor. We're going to see it in the second video. This is the clip. This is the montage. Apparently, a teacher, Chicago, Illinois, talking about how they give sex ed to their students. And don't take my word for it. I don't know who is stupid enough that they do these things and then they talk to people without thinking that if it gets recorded, someone might be recording this. Their own phone might be accidentally recording this. They might be accidentally butt dialing their I don't know, a friend who's going to hear the entire conversation. It's like they're proud of it when they think they're in a group of people who they think supports it. Listen to this, and I'm just going to make sure that I haven't missed a spot.
I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students at the prestigious Francis W. Parker Private School in Chicago, which happens to charge $40,000 per student.
They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them. They're like, how does this butt plug work? How does this work? That's a really cool part of my job.
Parents might be stunned.
Now context might make a little more sense if the person thought they were, I have to see if they thought they were on a date or something, trying to show how they're doing good for the community. That's the idea. You get the idea. A teacher undercover admitting that they're doing that with students. Some people, by the way, if you can imagine this, some people are saying, "What's the big deal?" They're just explaining how homosexuals, lesbians, and queers, I guess, do their business. It would be no better if it were heterosexual dildos. It would be no better if it were heterosexual butt plugs or whatever it is, because spoiler alert, people, I'm somewhat conservative, I guess, maritally, with respect to not knowing what triple figure body counts are, but now I do. Some people are some people do kinky things with their loved ones. So the idea that dildos and butt plugs are exclusively for gay, lesbian, or queer sex, that's not true. And this would be no more acceptable if it were heterosexual dildos, butt plugs, and a teacher, a male, I mean, I wouldn't say male versus female students. If it were any teacher showing any student talking about spit versus lube, dildos, butt plugs for heterosexual sex, I don't care. It would be scandalous, outrageous, and as a parent, I don't like starting sentences with "as a" because it doesn't oftentimes make your opinion any more relevant, except when it comes to your own personal experience. As a parent, if I found out that teachers were talking to let's just take my 2 girls, for example, about heterosexual sex in that type of graphic detail, and not merely from this is how babies are made, this is where they gestate from, and this is where they come out of, well, there'd be a problem as well. But there are people out there saying, well, this is totally fine. They're just explaining how queers, gays, and lesbians engage in sexual activity. It's not the queer, gay, and lesbian stuff that makes this offensive. It's the graphic sexuality of this that goes above and beyond biology. So some people are already saying, well, what's wrong with it? You wouldn't object if it were heterosexual sex. Yes, I would. And I think, yes, everybody who's objecting to this would. But it's illustrating a certain problem, which some people have been talking about, taking flack for on social media, that this movement is abusing of the fact that they've, infiltrated, but they're abusing of their place now to go above and beyond sensitizing people to not discriminate against gays, lesbians, and queers, as people should not. Some people are arguing that they've gone past that, and they are actively now engaged in the moral corruption of children. And I say they not as in the they, or a labeling they. If this were heterosexuals coming into schools, doing the exact same thing, I would call it the exact same type of moral corruption and grooming, period. Some people are saying that it has gone from equal rights to the corruption of youth. And some people have just said, this doesn't happen. It's not happening. When you see these undercover videos, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's all in your head. This is a one-off. This guy's going to get punished, reprimanded. They're going to come out and talk, say terrible thing. Oh, we apologize. And yeah, the video comes out, #ButtPlugDean, and Project Veritas has got its voice back on Twitter and is able to now share this stuff. Well, there was a follow-up today, and the editing is on point. And I say on point as in it's classic.
Joe Bruno.
Here. So the follow-up for today is they apparently are now confronting the teacher who they got undercover admitting to the butt plugs, the dildos, passing them around students, the LGBT groups come in and this is what they do. They got that on video. Now they want to talk to him. He was very proud to talk about it privately when he was in the company of people who he thought he was impressing. Not so eager to talk about it now that James O'Keefe is, I had a description that people might think was a bad pun, rushing him on the street. Listen to this. It's oh my goodness. I don't know how James has the courage to do it, but he does it and he does it well. Listen to this.
Joe Bruno.
Yes.
Hi there.
I mean, look at this guy. This is deer in headlights. I mean, if anyone has ever seen a deer on the side, this is a deer in the headlights, a proverbial deer in the metaphorical headlights of getting busted by real journalists. Look at this.
I'm James O'Keefe with Project Veritas.
I'm just going to... Hell no! The editing is very good as well.
To the no.
You're on.
Just going to back up slowly. Kids in the background, blurred faces, Travis W. Parker School.
Camera here. Talking about giving anal sex toys and butt plugs to little kids.
Where is he going? You can't run from the truth. You can't. You're busted. Now you best explain what you meant. Oh, I misspoke. It's never happened. Or lie. Just lie at least.
Children.
they're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them.
Sir, why are you running? Why are you running away?
Why are you running?
Sir, anal butt plugs and toys?
Excuse me?
The thing is this, it's not funny. It's actually shocking and outrageous and offensive. And James O'Keefe knows it. Look, he knows he's going to get this reaction because if you go to an elementary school or what this is an elementary or high school, you go to a school and you even talk about anal beads, butt plugs, and dildos or whatever it is, someone's going to get angry, as they should, confirming the very problem here to begin with. Okay. Listen.
Bruno, just excuse me. This teacher is talking about giving sex toys to your children.
This is the space where we're dismissing children.
Right.
Can you actually evacuate the patio?
Right,
please?
but he was giving sex toys to the children.
I have children here.
He's so good. He's deadpan comedy, but it's not funny.
Don't you think?
Please evacuate.
By the way, the ultimate irony, the song Ironic by Alanis Morissette was not irony. It was just bad luck. Rain on your wedding day is not irony. Getting in a plane crash the first time you wait your whole damn life to get that far, that's not irony. That's just bad luck. But okay, set that irony aside.
We're leaving, but he was talking about giving sex toys to children.
Thank you for leaving.
We understand. Reporters asking someone a question. We are leaving. You bet. As you can see, he ran into the building as quickly as possible. Are we allowed to stand on the sidewalk, sir?
How can it takes a special composition of a human being to be able to do this?
Thank you. We're going to stand on the sidewalk right here. Do you know a Joseph Bruno? Bruno?
His name is
Bueller.
His name is Bruno as well. Oh, that's extra layers of funny. If it looks like I'm just looking around where I'm moving, I just need to make sure that I'm not actually sitting in a piece of dog poop that I might have missed. So that's James O'Keefe. Let me see here. There's some very, very funny things here. The irony is people knowing history but still blindly believes government or people have their best interest at heart. The irony, Ekaro, is that people are being trust the science from Johnson & Johnson and the other one there, Pfizer, that paid billions of dollars in criminal penalties for hiding the damage that their medical products were doing. Trust the government that is apologizing currently for having experimented on Black Americans for several decades. It was a several decade lapse of good reason and good judgment. And you're the conspiracy theorist for knowing history. Murph's Kicks, thank you. Murph's Kicks, I'm still using the first pair of shoes you gave me for running. They're beautiful, but they've gotten wet many a times, so their odor is quite pungent for the shoes. But that's just because I must have clocked, I don't know, 1,000+ miles on them jogging. They're still amazing for jogging, and the white ones are even better. Murph's Kicks on Instagram, people. He made sent me a couple pairs of shoes, and they're beautiful. They're just fantastic. So that's James O'Keefe. Conspiracy theories are just future spoilers. They're just people who know the past and can apply it mutatis mutandis to the future. And now, in retrospect, it makes sense as to why certain organizations, certain platforms really went out of their way to tie in certain conspiracy theories, which I think most people disagree with, like the flat Earth conspiracy theories, with the other legitimate conspiracy theories, which are actually not conspiracy theories. It's just the way the government has worked, will work, and will continue to work in the future. Super sticker from Corn Pop. Thank you very much. Corn Pop, 99 cents. Thank you very much, Corn Pop. Pete C. Of course we traded that guy back. Who else is qualified to... Don't steal my thunder, man. Pete C. Who else is going to be... Who else is qualified to deal with the billions of dollars worth of arms we're flooding the market with? You stole my thunder. Okay, let's move over to Rumble. Actually, let me see if I've missed... I think I've missed a ton on Rumble. Oh, one day they're going to be able to integrate, hopefully. Okay, I haven't missed any Rumble rants. Good. Let's go over to Rumble right now, and we're going to get into it. We've done the politically correct stuff on YouTube. Butt plugs and dildos. Speaking of which, let me just go refresh and see. Are we yellow? Oh, I mean, have we been demonetized? Still good. James O'Keefe, back out there, back with a voice. And although he will call upon other people to share his content, he got his voice back to share his own work with the world and reveal what's going on, despite the fact that they're telling you it's not going on, because it is. All right, let's move over to Rumble. There's 1,588 people here. Let's see that number go up by 1,600 because math. Okay, we're moving from YouTube. See you all on Rumble. 3,